On today's episode, we are going to take a look at 5 websites to learn a new skill, skills that can potentially make you earn a lot of money. And these websites are either free or low cost. If you guys watched my previous video, I talked about how there's multiple ways to make money right now with the skill or a passion that you have. And sometimes you might have a skill or a passion and you want to keep learning more about it, right? You want to become a master at it. So there's always multiple reasons to learn. You just want to learn a new skill, you want to master a skill, you want to learn a new skill to change a career path. Maybe you want to go a different route with where you're going, or sometimes it's just a hobby that you want to learn more about. And one thing I do want to say, patience, right? Patience. It takes time to be good at something. It takes time for something to grow. It takes time for you to end up making money with what you love doing. Very similar, right? For education, if you're trying to learn the new skills, you're not going to be a master in a matter of a few days, but there always are tools out there, like some of these websites that we're going to take a look at today, that can help you move that time a bit quicker. So in today's episode, we're going to take a look at 5 websites to learn new skills for free or with a little bit of money. Like always, my name's Jose Najarro. If you are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel out so much. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I'm posting a lot of videos like this, about 3 videos a week, on just ways to overall improve yourself and try to earn money in this world right now. And there's plenty of money to be made. All right, so the first one obviously is gonna be YouTube. YouTube is obviously, we can use it to watch blogs, to watch funny stuff, but one can use it for educational purpose. Some of the pro things, and here I have actually a pretty cool way, right? If you want to learn how to play the piano, you can just put on YouTube how to play the piano for beginners, and you can see all these content creators that are showing you how to play the piano, and they have lessons for you. So the pros for it, it's completely free, right? Maybe you might get hit with some ads here and there, but it is free, and there's a large range of topics. You can learn anything from playing the piano to learning how to collect, for example, cards. If you want to learn how to start collecting cards, Pokemon cards, right now that's the biggest thing, right? People are flipping cards. How to grab items in Craigslist. You can learn so many things on YouTube. If you want to learn how to code, how to be an electrical engineer, how to fix an AC, YouTube has all that content out there. There are some cons with YouTube. The first one is one can easily get distracted, right? You can be watching a video and next thing you know, you're recommended a funny blog or a funny video, and instead of you continuing to learn, you will go and do some other stuff. The second thing is not completely organized, right? It's very hard to find a full playlist of all these lessons. You might have to dig a little deeper as you get more advanced into that skills. But I do believe YouTube is a great platform to learn. I use it to learn all the time. The second one we're going to take a look at is Udemy, and this you can go to udemy.com. Right here is a picture of it, and they have a lot of top categories. Here you have, for example, if you want to learn more about design, if you want to learn more about coding, development, about marketing, about IT and software, about business, maybe you want to do some personal development, maybe photography, maybe if you want to learn more about music. So what are the pros about Udemy? So Udemy is a very organized, unlike YouTube. These are actual courses that you go. If you want to learn more about photography, they show you ways. Hey, this is probably the best technique to do when taking a picture at nighttime. If you want to learn more about coding, if you want to start learning how to code, development, and here in the development section, you can find it. And they have a huge range of levels. You can be a beginner or someone who knows nothing about that software and just wants to learn about it. They have all types of difficulty levels, and I think that's pretty impressive, right? Maybe right now you're doing something, maybe you might be a business someone with a business degree, but want to understand something about coding. Even if you had no prior education on coding, you can come here and take the beginning courses, and the classes are cheap. They're usually full prices are about $100, but every other week this place seems to have a sale and you can pick up classes for cheap. Some of them are $10 to $20. Most of the classes I picked up have been like $10. This is actually where I learned how to do game design. There was a phase in my life where I wanted to become a game designer, right? And the courses here, I knew nothing about it, completely nothing about game designing, and I created a few small games using this platform. So the classes are cheap and they're very helpful. The only con, I have to say, it's not free, but these are actual life-changing careers. Topics that you can learn here can potentially make you end up changing a career. And I believe now we come into a life where it more on the type of practice you have, not the actual degree or paperwork. I'm pretty sure, for example, I've seen a lot of software engineer guys who never went or studied a software degree, but due to their prior experience and other type of education outside of the typical college, were able to get a job on a software career. So just because you don't have a degree, it does not mean you can't change careers. Obviously, it might make it a bit harder, but stuff like this, getting real world experience, learning different ways to code is a great way to do it. But like I mentioned, right, they have marketing, design, personal development, business. If you want to learn more about music, I'm guessing they're teaching you here how to produce and engineer songs, which I think is pretty impressive. The third one we're going to take a look at is Coursera. And this, again, a website, you can go to coursera.org, and they have, this is more, I want to say, traditional online education. Here you can learn subjects like arts and humanities, business, computer science, data science, information technology. You can learn about health, math and logic, social sciences. You can do language learnings. So this is another one I've used before. I've used this one for business, for some business, to just learn more about business. Like I mentioned, I do have a very successful stock market channel, and I've learned some stuff from here. So what are the pros here? The first thing, it's very organized, and these are, again, career-changing topics. If you want to learn about computer science, if you want to learn about business, data science, IT, this is definitely the website to do it. The classes are free. I know I've used it before. Right back then, I used to use it on their application, and if I would go on their application, you can take the courses for free. Now I think you can do it online to register for a class for free. And the other thing, it is ran by institutions. Here they have like classes by Penn State, by Stanford. I know they have classes by Harvard here. And a lot of big schools have some other courses here. You even have classes ran by Google, Michigan State. So it's ran by some big institutions, have some backings here. The only con I would say is it might feel more like actual online classes because it is ran by professors and such, by true masters of that skill you're trying to learn. But Coursera is another one I enjoy. I do believe maybe their interface, their user interface is a little bit behind in time. It feels a little old in technology, but the content they produce here is amazing. I remember when I wanted to learn a little bit more about machine learning, Coursera had a lot of free courses that I was able to try to see if this was a topic I wanted to learn. And that's the main thing, right? Sometimes and the great thing about this is, right, they're either low cost or free. So maybe you might be like, hey, I want to learn more about machine learning. Maybe I can take a few introductory courses, do a few hours of courses, and then see if this is something I truly want to do. There's nothing wrong with trying something that you think you might want to do, and then at the end of the day, after you took 3 to 4 hours, you decide, hey, this is not for me. As long as you tried it and you really got to experience that skill to see if it met up with your hype. So the fourth one is Udacity. This is another one I enjoy a lot. This one we're gonna see is a little bit more tech savvy than the other ones we mentioned. Here you can learn about data science, about programming, business, artificial intelligence. If you want to learn about, for example, autonomous system, if you want to learn how to code, for example, autonomous cars, cloud computing, this is definitely the website to come here. So what are the pros of Udacity? One, it is backed by big industries. We have like Google, Amazon, AT&T, Microsoft, IBM. They show you courses here where you can use their platforms. For example, if you guys know Amazon has Amazon Cloud, which is AWS. Amazon has direct courses here where you can learn how to use their platform. And these are true life-changing, career-changing classes that once you have a degree here, you will be able to go to a job and be like, hey, I took these classes. This is my experience here. Some other pros is there are some free courses. What are the cons? The cons here, I want to say this is more tech heavy. So these are for probably people that want to get into engineering, into coding or into like data analysis, more mathematicals, this is Udacity is definitely really great for that. But again, maybe you are not in that field right now and you want to learn more about that field. There are a lot of free courses here. Another con is they do have what they call mini degrees, and these cost a few $100s. I think I've seen some for like $600-700, but I do believe the type of education that they have here is worth it, and it's a lot cheaper than going to your typical college and learning stuff like that. The fifth one we're gonna take a look at is Pluralsight. This is I've used all of these platforms before, right? Like I mentioned, I'm always looking to learn something new, and I'm not gonna be ashamed that I've tried to learn some new stuff and realized that, hey, this is not for me. But now that I'm happy that I tried it, because it shows me that, hey, I tried it. Now I don't have the back of my mind, maybe I should have learned that instead of this. So I constantly try to learn new stuff. Eventually I ended up just going into the stock market instead, and that's why I have my stock market channel. But that took time, right? I had to find out what I enjoy doing, I had to find out what I like learning, and I had to find out what I like talking about. So what are some pros here? Again, they do have some free courses available to people that just want to learn the introduction of stuff. One thing I like about it is whenever, let's say you want to learn about software development, whenever you start that software development courses, they kind of give you an entry test. And that entry test kind of shows you, hey, what kind of level you are. And if you're a true beginner, it starts you off at the beginning courses. But if you might have some prior experience to whatever skill you're trying to learn, if you answer some of those questions correctly, it puts you in a little bit more advanced classes. So you don't have to spend that time learning on the beginning courses since you already know that. Then other thing is, this is pretty much like the Netflix of learning. You pay like a monthly subscription and you have all these courses available to you. Some of the cons here, very coding heavy. This is probably the main site if you want to learn more about coding, if you want to do cybersecurity, if you want to do some form of software development. The other thing, it is a monthly subscription. You don't pay per course. So if you want to keep learning over time, you're just going to have to be paying that monthly subscription. So these are the 5 websites that I believe are great places for one to learn new skills that can end up making you money in the future, probably a lot more money than you're making now, new skills of things you want to learn, and new skills that you can use to create your own content creation. Maybe you want to be, for example, a game developer, and you can pretty much record yourself learning and record some of the games you're making at the beginning, and just record that process, put it on YouTube, make a podcast about it, make a newsletter about some of the techniques you're learning, and eventually in a year, in 2 years, you can become a professional, and people can go back and be like, wow, this guy has been doing this, or this girl has been doing this for the past 7 months and has been grinding and grinding. So these are ideas that one can do to make money right now. There are 2 others that I believe are worth mentioning that I also use. The first one is books. Books, I believe, are a great tool to use to learn new skills. If you guys want me to do a video, there are 3 books that have completely changed my life, and I can do a video on them. Maybe you guys can take a read on them, and they have changed me from the way I talk, from the way I view things, and the way I do things. So these 3 books have been amazing and eye-openers. And even if you don't like reading books, maybe you have a long commute, turn it into an Audible, get the Audible version and listen to your commute instead of listening to music or listening to some nonsense that's not giving you any form of positive return for your time. Books and Audibles are great. Social platforms, if used correctly, can be of huge beneficial to your life. For example, the only social platform I have right now is Twitter. And Twitter, the only people I follow on Twitter, like I mentioned, I'm big into the stock market. I only follow great minds in the stock market world. So every time I'm reading on Twitter, I'm just reading a great article, I'm reading a great thought about a great investor, and it's helping me build up that overall investing experience. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like always, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to subscribe. It helps the channel out so much. And like I said, let me know in the comments below, which one were some of your favorites? Did you guys know about all these platforms? Have you used any of them? If not, make sure to check them out. I definitely recommend it if you're trying to learn a new skill, if you're trying to better yourself. And take care, guys. Have a good night.